Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another episode on the Prowl with the Carolina Predators. We are on season 2, episode 2. It's your boy Cool McCain here to host you through another episode. We are joined today by one of the other members of ownership of the Carolina Predators, as well as Coach Ralph, who is also a member of the ownership with the team as well. So I will do what we always do around here, right? Let these gentlemen introduce themselves, let you know what got them to where they're at. And after that, we'll get into it. So, Dwayne, thanks for coming on and love to start with you.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Mhm.
Again, my name is Dwayne Bailey. I've been in the business of sports for quite a bit now, between the professional ranks and the pro ranks. Over the course of the years, I've been looking for ways to get more involved in the community and in minor league sports, predominantly, just because of my love of sports in itself and as a way of growing it on the youth level. One of the things that really attracted me to arena football was that synergy that I saw between how close it could actually be to the fans and to the youth sports initiatives that are going on right now. One of the things that really sticks out is flag football, which has been huge the last few years, and you've seen that growing. The NFL's getting into it. You see a lot of females getting into it now. It's growing as a great sport in the collegiate level. Arena football is a great gateway to that. First, to touch the fans and to actually draw them in to that youth aspect. When I first really started speaking with Ralph and Ricky, that's one of the things I brought up. I saw the future of the game, as it is arena football, really touching youth sports and being a gateway for that. More so than a traditional sports model, right? I've been involved with a couple of arena teams as a minor owner, and I have to say that the issues kind of are the same from team to team out there. From the revenue standpoint,
Right.
sustainability standpoint, it's just a model that just wasn't really working in my mind. I thought it was missing the mark in terms of a market that was really untapped, and that was the youth market, and that was kind of the vision that I presented to Ralph when we first spoke, because I really do think that's the future and how to tie it in and how to grow the game. So I mean, it's. I was very fortunate to really connect with Ralph with my time with when I was with the Cobras a little bit as a minor owner. Had some conversations. Really was impressed by just his thoughts about the game, where the direction of the team was going, how he was running the Predators, and that was really something I wanted to be a part of. So that really drew me in. So I was really fortunate to connect with him, and it was kind of off the races since that point.
Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, Ralph, I'll tell you guys a little something here. So if you've been watching the show, Ralph, he talks a little bit on the show, but Ralph actually has a lot of knowledge and a lot that he brings.
Mhm.
And I think
Yeah.
we're starting to pull a little bit more of it out of him around here on the show as well. So it'll be good if y'all to get a little bit more Ralph personality. I feel like he was a little more guarded the first season, but I feel like he's a little bit more relaxed now. So we get a little bit more of him
He's,
in the mind of Ralph this season.
he's kind of a quiet guy unless you get him out in that field, but he's more or less a quiet guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
All right, Ralph, if you would, I know you did so last time, but just we may have some new people watching. So
Ralph Bird, part owner of the Predators, head coach of the Predators. Started the team back in 2018, just to be a resource for athletes to have opportunity to showcase their ability, and to also give a resource to some more athletes who are not looking to move up, but just looking to continue to play football. And without having to go to all these expensive tryouts day in and day out.
mhm.
So we always had told the guys use this as a platform for your tryout, which in detail shows your ability to play this game and not just everything on paper. I mean, so that's been the idea from day one. Me and Ricky, we always talked about moving up to the professional ranks, but it wasn't a big key on our radar just because we've been around for a while, so we know the ins and outs of it, especially financially wise. And like I say, had some good leads around, but financial wise, just didn't make sense for us to try to push to go up to last maybe a year or two and then fall apart. Like I said, we done outlasted a couple teams that has been playing, just how we do things here. And like I say, Dwayne called me because we had the partnership with the Cobras last year as a developmental team. And then, by the end of the season, they end up closing down shop for the season. So Dwayne called me so we can try to get everything going this year between the two organizations. And then it had to be a talk about, have we ever thought about having other partners? And like I told Dwayne, I said, we always have that conversation between me and Ricky. But if it doesn't make sense or if they don't see the same vision we see, what's the use of trying to force that? Just because you're going to bring in some extra money? I mean, extra money is good, but if your vision not the same, then the product is still not going to last. I mean, so like I say, Dwayne said, we talked and we kind of sort of hit it off and had the same vision of what we was looking for in the organization. And then when he brought that up to me, like I said, it's been on the racing since then. And so we got a lot of things going. Partnership with the venue at House of Sports, where we're getting ready to start the Learn to Play Flag Football, hosted by the House of Sports, but the Predators will help run that. Try to build that up into the Predator Youth Football League. So we're gonna try to get that going year round. Like I say, this is the first time they have ever did any kind of really flag football at the venue.
Okay.
So Chrissy, she's been on it, and they really wanted it, and for us to be able to do it together, like I say, it just made sense. Like I say, because I've been working to build a relationship with the market, the venue, just because what they have going there is a good thing, and what we're trying to build here is a good thing. And I think you put both of them together and make a great thing. That's why I say if we did move up and we move out to a bigger arena, we will bring in a second team up under the Predators name. It won't be the Predators, but it will still be a team within our ranks, just to keep that going between us and the venue of the House of Sports. So,
all right. So I know we're here to talk about the Predators, but I think the people might love as well to hear a little bit more about what you guys are going to be doing with the flag football program there, and how you guys are going to kind of how that's going to work.
all right. So right now we're gonna do it from ages of, I think it's 8 to 12, 8 to 13. It's really just to learn to play. It'll be an hour every Monday, starting at the end of March. 8-week program. Coach Gregory, which he'll be on in the next episode, he's actually be the one helping me run it.
Okay.
So he's gonna be the one teaching the classes. We have a couple of ball players also gonna help run the classes. So it's gonna be the basic drills of throwing the football, catching the football, pass routes, running routes, defense, just to get kids understanding the indoor side of a flag football. And then our goal is to, once we start playing, before we play, is to have flag football games, youth flag football games on our game days. So it's almost like a all-day event dealing with the Carolina Predators, to where you have the youth playing before we play, and that way they can be more involved with the Preds altogether, besides just on Mondays. That way they can be under the lights, then probably have a couple broadcasts so they can actually be seen on TV a little bit, just to kind of get that enthusiasm out there for them, to go along with everything we planning to do with the Preds during the season. So, like I said, Raleigh area, Triad area, Raleigh-Durham, Winston-Salem, Wake Forest, all within an hour or so. 6:30, 7:30 on Monday, starting March 30th for 8 weeks. Learn to play flag football, ages 8 to 12. You can go register on CarolinaPredators.com, or you can go to the House of Sports NC.com and click on link to get your child registered and go from there.
All right. So, Dwayne, is this more something that's going to be a project that you're going to be kind of focusing on helping out with as well?
Yeah. I mean, as much as I can, with everything that's going on here, Ralph can tell you sometimes we get pretty busy. But yeah, wherever I can with my resources, yes, yeah, absolutely. Because I really see that as a nucleus of all our initiatives going forward. It's going to be at the heart of what we do.
Okay, perfect. Because I know, Ralph had mentioned on our last episode that a lot of the new owners that were coming in, owners that have been around, we're going to be kind of taking certain pieces of the pie and kind of being more focused on that piece. So I definitely kind of see this as a piece, not saying it's the only piece that you would be involved with, but that sounds like a piece that you would have your handprint on as much as possible.
Yeah, and it's a unique group. I don't know how much Ralph has told you. These are folks that I've kind of identified and pulled together, that I've met just through the course of my time in arena football, that have been with other franchises where the model hasn't necessarily worked well. So they share similar visions and similar experiences in terms of what didn't work well. So they're really on board and they're behind us in terms of this new vision and where the direction is that we're kind of pointing, the enterprise. So I think that's a unique thing that we have everybody that's kind of like mind, just because they've had like experiences, good or bad, in the business. So we could all pretty much share either the pain or the love of it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's one thing, for those who may be newer to arena football, indoor football, things of that nature, you see a lot of teams, come and go. They may run a course of a couple of years, they come and go. And you may wonder why, but Dwayne kind of alluded to it, and, Ralph's kind of talked to us about it in the past before. It's just, the infrastructure, having everything correct on the back end, because the product itself is a good product no matter who puts it out. It's just having the structure, being in the correct place where you can actually last and, build those relationships and build things. And like the Predators are doing, build something outside of just the arena football, right?
Yeah.
Flag football thing for the kids. That's something that can be, like you said, on the side, but it also builds and helps, get more eyes on the actual product. So I definitely think it's a good idea.
The key to it is you have to be in this for the right reasons, right? I think the reason why some of these ownership groups fail is, people will get into it thinking this is the next NFL, or you're gonna make a ton of money in the value of the franchises, or you're gonna get 8, 9, 10,000 people a game packing your arena, and you're gonna make money. The reality is it just doesn't work that way. You're going to grind it out each and every day. You're not going to make money at this, and you can't get into this business to make money. It's really got to be the love of the athletes, the love of the sport itself, and growing the sport as a community initiative. It's really about the community. Any other reason, and chances are the enterprise will fail, which, as you've said, a lot of these franchises have for that very same reason. So you have to be very measured, very focused in terms of what your niche is and what you're looking to do. In our case, obviously, youth sports is our primary focus, with the arena side of it as a complement to it. It functions as somewhat of a vertical, from that youth flag football, level going up to this semi-pro arena style level. And I think that's a niche that really works and is sustainable. So that's kind of the path that we've kind of put our folks together and are looking toward.
Yeah, and it's good to, have that understanding, right? Like, this is what we're doing. We're doing this as well, but this is our main focus. And this is not that it's not a focus, but we also want to focus on building that youth aspect, which, from my recollection, I don't know many organizations that have started doing this. So
there is it. It's unique.
Yeah, so there'll be a lot of people that may say, yeah, it's not a bad idea, it might jump on, but you guys will be the originator of that. So that'll be something that you always have, little feather in your cap, so to speak. Hopefully they'll start. And that's a great idea, man, because a lot of kids love sports, and we got a lot of parents that are concerned now with their kids, getting hit playing football, not knowing the proper route running, all that stuff earlier on. And then, like you said, with the rise of flag football, there's also that option, which takes a lot of that concern away. Parents are like, I don't want my kid to go out and get hit like that. But flag football, a little bit different. Yeah, this is, man. I don't think people are going to, or necessarily at the beginning, understand how big and how revolutionary this part is going to be. But over time, they'll see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're already starting to see explosion on the college level.
Yeah.
Teams are popping up all over the place, and the NCAA is really embracing it. So I think it's definitely a viable pathway, and you'll see a lot of popularity in this sector in the coming years.
Yeah. And you can get on the front of that, the front end, man. You're making some things happen. All right, guys. So slide over to team activities. So, Coach Ralph. We're gonna go to Coach Ralph now. Coach Ralph. I know we've got some practice going on. We're still forming a team. What updates do you have for us after a couple of weeks of practice?
The updates I have, we have a lot of this roster is a lot of new talent.
Okay.
A lot of youth, but it also have a lot of hungry individuals who want to embrace the opportunity to get a chance to play. And that's what we're looking for. Individuals who just want the opportunity, and when they get it, they're gonna fly with it. So you see a lot of youth, a lot of wanting to learn and grow. I mean, like I said, we 2 practices in. We got 2 more before we get ready to kick off the season. So now it's really time to get down to business. And so, like you say, helmets and shoulder pads and getting everything together, gearing up for April 11th. We're supposed to end up, we're going to have a preseason game on the 21st, but decided not to do that because the team we was talking to, they think they had some things come up. So just going to give the guys that weekend off, at least have some time with the family, because after Easter weekend, every Saturday is going to be almost game week. Yeah. So that's all the way up until June, really July. So, like I say, give the guys some guys times with the kids and family and do what they want to do, but stay locked in. So I think, and all in all, we're going to be a younger team, experience-wise, but that's going, the talent level and the wanting to is going to outweigh the experience. So I think, like me and Coach Gregory say, our goal is a championship, but our main goal is to get guys to another level. So, and I think what we have going with the kids we have, I think that's a real possibility. You might see some of the 2026 Predators on the IFL, AF1, the IAL roster in 2027, maybe 2026. You never know. So,
definitely. Now, Dwayne, from an ownership perspective, how much do you delve into or focus on the actual building of the team, or do you kind of leave that more up to the guys that work on that side?
Yeah, no, that's all Ralph. Yeah, you let the experts do what they do best, so that's all Ralph.
That's fair. Yeah, I like to just get the people the opportunity to see, like, hey, yeah, I'm, because you're a part owner, you may not have your hands in everything because everybody has their specialties, and you want to try to, let guys focus on what they do well, while at the same time, building those things that you bring to the table to help as well. So,
yeah, but it also comes back to the vision of each and every owner. Some owners some owners are in this because they're passionate about the X's and the O's, and they want to be that Monday morning quarterback or coach, and they want to roll up their sleeves and get out there. I mean, for me, it really is about the community aspects and the growth of the game. So as far as the X's and O's, I mean, the experts, which are Ralph and Ricky, that's their territory. They do it very well. So I just kind of stay clear of it.
Yeah, and it's good too to not suffer from the too many cooks in the kitchen syndrome that some people have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Coach Ralph, in regards to team building, how do you feel about what you have so far? Do you feel like you have, if not all, the majority of the guys that you're going to go into the season with right now? Or do you still have a couple of maybe this guy, maybe that guy, still looking a little bit to see if maybe that one guy we need comes through the door? Where are you sitting at with that?
Right now, I sit early. As we tell all our players and whoever inquire about playing, our roster's still open. Nobody has a spot. Like I say, on each side, you got 8 on each side. The best 8 will play. The best 30 is going to be listed on the roster. Nobody's job safe until roster's locked. So, like I say, every week is a tryout week, to be honest with you. You got to try out for the following week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's really just getting them ready if they want to move up to that next professional level, because that's exactly what happens on that level.
Right.
Every week you trying out. If you don't perform the week before, that Monday you might be cut. Sometimes that Sunday. So like I said, we just really trying to get the guys prepared for situations like that. And not more of if you hear you automatically on the team. Because you got plenty of guys around that want an opportunity. So our goal is to get the ones that best fit right now, who's dedicated. Big words, dedicated. You got a lot of people who's not dedicated. They want it, but they're not dedicated to do it. If you're not dedicated, we don't want you. So the ones who want and dedicated, the ones we're going after. Like I say, roster's not locked till I can't remember when our roster's locked for the season. But as of right now, our roster's still open.
Now, one of the things I always like to talk about is how the AL2 works. I always like to help people understand it. Maybe they already know. Maybe we got some new people. Maybe people just need a reminder. But this is development football. So what that means, guys, is you're going to get guys out here that are going to get opportunities, maybe with the AL, maybe with many of the other leagues that Coach Ralph talked about a few minutes ago. But they're going to have opportunities. So depth is very important. So I always encourage when I tell people about this, I say, hey, you can love players. There's nothing wrong with that, but make sure you love the team too, because there could be times where that guy ends up moving on just due to their talent, right opportunity. They're prepared for it. They're ready. They're groomed. They're ready. And they get that opportunity at another level. So talk to the people, Ralph, about depth and how important it is to have that depth and how important it is for you guys to coach your guys that don't play just as much as the guys that do play more, because there could come opportunities and times where you're going to need them depending on what happens with your roster.
I mean, that's the basis of life. There's always next man up, no matter where you at. Job-wise, the same thing. Because like anybody, when I was running a restaurant, I tell them, listen, this restaurant gonna go if I'm here or not. I mean, that's just how it's gonna be. So our thing is, depth is always the key component of a good organization, a good team, because you never know what might happen. Somebody might go down injured. If you don't got nobody who can step into that spot, then you're gonna be in trouble. So having that depth for injuries, call-ups, I mean, that's very important because we was getting ready to go through that last year with the Cobras because they was getting ready to bring up about 16 ball players to go play in Wheeling, and we had a game that same day. And so when they had death, then there's no way we was going to be able to do that. That was half our team.
Right.
You know, I mean, so to have that depth, have that deep roster, to have the ones on the bench ready to go, I mean, that's always a plus. So, like I tell guys, the more position you can play, the more value is to a team, and the best opportunity you have to go somewhere else. So,
yep. The next thing I was going to talk about was the versatility aspect, just making sure you guys understand that, hey, if you have the ability to play multiple positions, that does give you a better opportunity. You know, like Ralph said, that's kind of what it's about, being versatile. So if you play wide receiver, you also play running back, you also play safety, whatever. You know, not that you have to play specific ones, but just having the versatility, being able to play multiple positions, because you never know which one you might step into and just be really good at, and which ones you can at least be a player that one gets you to the next level. Then they say, well, wait a minute, we brought you in as a safety, but you got good hands. Let's throw you in with the wide receivers and see what happens. So, you know, just being prepared for whatever situation becomes available. And another thing about it is top to bottom with these organizations, guys. And the Predators, I know for sure because I, have a lot of conversations and insight with Ralph. So I kind of have an idea of what's going on here a little bit more than some places. But one of the things I've seen and heard from a lot of the coaches and owners is having good people, right? Not just good players, but guys that go out and represent your organization. So Dwayne and Ralph, I'd love for you guys to kind of talk about your vision of the guys themselves, not the player, but the person that you're bringing into the organization, and how you guys make the decisions on that, and how you kind of help these guys become the best people that they can be while they're, with you guys as well.
okay. You always look for guys who gonna represent the brand and the vision that the brand was created. You never want to bring in a guy who's gonna bring a bad image to the brand.
Right.
And that's from top to bottom, management to players. So that's why it was so long for us to bring in partners, because of that exact same reason, the vision. If our vision don't line up with each other, there's no use for us trying to force something. That's like trying to force a square into a circle. It just won't happen. I mean, so that's important throughout the whole organization from top to bottom, to have the right people with the right mindset to know where the organization is trying to move to. So, like I say, player wise, same thing. Players as a coach, we look for players who are willing to adjust, to learn that it's not about you. It's about a team aspect. But if you do what you're supposed to do, then that helps the team be better. Same way as owners looking for coaches. It's the same thing. It's not about you as a coach. It's about the organization, the brand. How would you portray the brand in public? Because you don't want to have a coach inside the organization bad mouthing the organization behind your back. I mean, you're always going to have disagreements. That's anywhere in life. But the thing about disagreements is you should be able to talk that out as grown men and women to figure out, okay, what's the best scenario for us? Is it to try to fix this and move forward, or separate and wish each other well and go our separate ways? And I think that's what happens to a lot of organizations, that they don't look at that. They look at, what can you do for me now? And then that turns around and end up biting you in the tail. Because what you can do for me now you're not telling that person what they're actually getting themselves into fully. And so when they find out what they not got themselves into, it's like, oh man, let me figure out how I can get out of this thing. I mean, so it's always, that's one of the main aspects of a personality that you look for. And like I said, that's what a lot of people ask about. Coaches from other teams, that's what they ask about. Not far as a player skill wise, but the personality. They're gonna be a cancer if I bring them in here. How's their work ethic off the field? So that's their biggest key, is not too much of what they can do on the field, but what they do off the field.
Yeah,
And ownership is what we do off the field as owners.
Yeah.
I would just echo what Ralph is saying in terms of it. I think it's even more important for our model in itself, because long term, from our aspect, the Predators be known for not just winning on the field, but helping to grow the game.
Right.
And that's something pretty special in terms of a community and tying into the community. I don't want to say athletes are role models, but they do represent some structure to follow if you aspire to higher levels of athletics. Having the right people in place to lead that charge is critical, especially as a youth organization or with ties to a youth organization. So you have to be particularly careful of the kind of folks that you have that are representing the organization, that are representing the brand, that are front and center, because obviously you're around a lot of youth, a lot of females, a lot of parents. So it's really critical to have a certain image projecting and to have the right people in place that can really honor the brand that you're putting out there. So, what Ralph and Ricky and his staff do in terms of making sure we have those right people in place is really critical. More so, I think, sometimes than playing the game, because it takes an awful lot to build an organization, very little to tear it down. So you just have to be mindful of those bricks that you're laying as you're building it up.
Yeah, because like you said, you can have a fantastic organization, things go well for a while. You get one blemish, one bad thing, is like that supersedes the majority of that goodwill and the positivity that you've already had. I like what Ralph said about saying, hey, sometimes it's just better to wish each other well and move on. You can't, get on the same page. And that's, I think, a big thing that relationships, right? Work, organizations, whatever you're in, is how you handle things when maybe it's not in the best interest of everybody to be together anymore. Yeah. Because sometimes it's just that point of like, you're not wrong. What you're saying is not wrong. It's just not what, like you said, the vision we have is. So,
let me add something else with Ralph and Ricky. I mean, one of the things that really impressed me with them, and I started this by saying, look, I've been involved with a couple of organizations as a minority owner and had some so experiences. I'll leave it at that, right? One of the things that impressed me with Ralph and Ricky is just the way they treat the community, the way they treat their partners. Bills are paid, people are respected. They have good relationships with people. Not a bad word out there. I mean, when you deal with them, they leave a good taste in your mouth. Put it that way, right? Not a lot of the organizations out there, have done that historically. You have some really good ones, and you have some ones that are not so great, and those are the ones that have come and gone. But they do it the right way, and it really starts from the top, from themselves to the players to how they represent themselves. Every aspect of it is really important. So I will say that really starts at the nucleus of that leadership at top, and they've done a tremendous job with that. I don't think you'll find a vendor or a fan or anybody out there that would really have a crossword to say, just because they extend that respect and they deliver on what they promise. So that was also very key for the new people getting involved with the organization.
Oh yeah, and I feel like, I'll say for the most part, because there's always exceptions, but I feel like for the most part, that's something that the AL too definitely looks into. They want to have those guys that are like Ralph and his team, that are in it for the right reasons, love of the game, like you said before. We're here to make the brand better. We're here to develop guys, send them to the next level, and celebrate that, right? Because you've had some places where guys may be ready for the next level, but they're like, no, we're trying to win, so we're not going to allow them to take other opportunities right now. Where, here in AO2, I've seen where, guys have said, hey, man, you got the opportunity to go, and it hurts the team that they're leaving because obviously your most skilled guys are the guys that people are looking at. And just seeing how they handle that as a whole really impresses me as a outside party looking in, and seeing how Ralph has handled several different things that we've talked about and I've seen, just kind of, hey, it is what it is. We're brushing things off and we're moving forward and, keeping the organization on track. That's what you want. And I do believe that the Predators for sure, and there are many other teams as well, but we're talking about the Predators right now, have things in place to be around for a long time. And that's the difference, and that's the key. You have guys that come in, they may have the money, they may have the resources, but they just don't have those scruples. They don't have that. We want to keep our name good, right? Because like you said, that's important. If you can go around and you can say, hey, we've paid you on time for everything, but we're going to need a little extra time because such and such happened, but we'll have the money by this date, and you never had a problem, there's not an issue there. But if you're somebody that's always, I can't pay, I can't do this, ducking, got to find a way to find you, unprofessional at times, it's harder to be extended any grace or build that camaraderie, build that good name. And, for guys who are watching this that are players themselves or want to be players, your good name is very important. It's more important than your play on the field, to be 100% honest. Like 1, 2, 1. Because if you have talent, but you're not coachable, you're not a person that people want to deal with, your talent is not going to supersede that. You come in and you see things like, man, if everybody would just operate their version of this way, a lot of you guys wouldn't have the issues that you have. But It's not as easy as it seems. All right, guys. So I want to ask you this question, Ralph. What's it going to look like for this season? What's the expectation for this season?
It's always championship.
Okay.
Expectation is always championship. But the main expectation is to see how many of these kids I can get gone this year or next year. So if we don't win the championship this year, but I get 3 or 4 kids signed or men signed to a professional team somewhere, then this season was a success. I mean, if I can get 10, 12 men to understand this game, this season was a success. I mean, that's the whole reason for a developmental league. Developmental team is to help develop athletes. So when they get that opportunity to move up, they're ready for it and not have to try to move up and learn at the same time. I mean, so that's what we define our success on. Not as many championships we win, but how many people can we get out of here who wouldn't otherwise had the opportunity to, without having to go pay $100 here, $150 there, just to try out. And a lot of them tryouts, you got over 100 people trying out for maybe 2-3 open spots. So like I say, that's our goal. It's championship and getting guys moved on.
Yeah, it's critical for people to really, I kind of dig on this a little bit and kind of make sure we focus this a little bit. It's really important for people to understand the main focus here is the development. Like, everybody wants to win. If I'm sitting here talking to you, you say, well, I'm not worried about really competing for a championship or whatever. I'm like, you're not? So you got a team that you're funding, you're putting all your time and effort into, and you're not trying to win. I'm ready to be done. At that point, I'm ready to stop the show. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to at least have that desire. You don't want to walk into a season and be like, I don't think we're really going to be able to compete. Because number one, we know every year in development, a lot of guys move. So you may have teams that the team moves because of their success, or certain guys move because of their success, and it opens it up. And then you get another opportunity to break to the guys that you brought in to coach them up, to develop them. So you look at the situation and you're expecting to, have some success. And guys need to really see that it's the success of how you put out guys, how you put guys out. That's important. Winning, yeah, great. Nobody's going to say, if I said, hey, Ralph, if you could either win or develop players, which would you do? If your answer is not both, come on, Ralph, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying?
No,
So we already do it. But that's the thing. Understanding that it's both. It's not one or the other. It's both. Now, obviously, only one team can win, but you want to compete. You want people to say, boy, that Predators team, man, that Predators team is good. They so good, I almost call them Panthers. Them boys are playing. They're out there playing. And that's the important part, and then you continue to have success. You continue to develop guys. You continue to bring guys along. At some point, you should see those two things meet. My guys are developed. My guys are ready to go. And we're out here winning because we're prepared. We're ready. Everybody out here is ready to go out and do their part. And if you're doing that, man, you've always got a good chance. But it's that development that's key. It's that moving up. It's that next man up. It's the man, we lost our number one wide receiver to whatever team. That's all right. We got some other guys here we've been working with. We've been training. Number 2 moves to 1. Number 3 moves to 2. Maybe number 5 moves to 3 because he has the same skill set, but he wasn't playing because he's not quite as good because he hasn't had as many opportunities as the other guy. And that's important. And that's what I know the plan is for you to do, right? And that's the goal. That's in a perfect world what happens. And that's what developmental football is about. On a very simple level, we develop guys, we get them ready, they leave, we have other guys that are ready, and we try to continue to win.
Oh, yeah. That's the key.
Yes, sir.
Key to success.
Oh, yeah. So, gentlemen, I'm just going to give you guys a couple of minutes. If there's anything else you'd like to throw out there to the people, anything else you'd like to discuss, and also if you'd like to give the people ways to contact you, obviously you don't want your phone number, but your social media accounts and things like that. So, Dwayne, I'll start with you, sir.
I think all I could say is, our main goal is just inspiring, this next generation of players while, competing for a championship and growing the game. That's really our goal here. I love hearing from people. I love hearing from fans. Obviously, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. You can always find me by Dwayne Bailey. You'll see that out there. It's easily just put it in the search. Ton of football players I think from the league have already been connecting with me pretty steadily because they see my name on the site. So I always love hearing from people and hearing their thoughts on it. But our goal is really clear. So I think that's good. In terms of what we're shooting for, I hope to grow the game and hope to grow it in the North Carolina area. So I haven't talked about it, but specifically, I do have family down there in the area, which is, I do have a love for the area and the region. So that's one of the things that drew me to it. One of our other owners, Mark Francis, is down there as well too. Mark was a fellow owner with the Cobras that came over with me. So I know his sentiments are still the same. Hopefully you guys could have him on the show at some point down the road, because I know he's been doing this a lot longer than I have, so I'm sure he's got some insight in it that he'd love to share with the fans. But yeah, we're here and we're looking to do some great things and have some fun while we're doing it. So looking forward to hearing people, meeting people, and just moving this forward.
Love it. All right, Ralph, what you got for us, sir?
Like I say, man, just if you got kids in the Triad area, go ahead and get registered for that learn and play flag football. It'd be a good opportunity for one to learn the game, for two to be coached and taught the game from a fellow Predators. And then come out and enjoy starting in April. a good game of family-friendly football with the Preds. Like I said, I know I'm talking to. He was a Cobra super fan, Mr. Brad Morale. I hope I said his last name right. But he's gonna help me start our team tailgate before the games. So come out there, have a good time. You'll see some of the ball players, meet some of the ball players, talk to some of the ball players before we get ready to play. And then, like I say, once you come inside for the game, we're gonna have a nice party. Like we're gonna have a DJ, a high impact football game, and something that your whole family can come enjoy without paying $100 per ticket, like you will for the NFL games.
You
So
being nice when you say 100.
and that's the nosebleed seats. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much it for right now. What we got going as a team going to this year. Like I say, the tailgate, the flag football, the DJ for our games. So like we plan to make it professional without being labeled professional right now. Because like you say, being a professional is not all about paying. You can be a professional by what you put out there, how you conduct yourself. That's professional. That's what a lot of these guys don't understand. They want to call themselves professional because they're getting paid. But what you're doing behind the scenes is not professional. So because not getting paid doesn't mean that you can't be professional. Just because the organization is not paying doesn't mean they can't be professional. Being professional is how you carry yourself, the product owner off the field. And that's what we try to do is give you a professional look for a developmental team. So that's, like I said, our whole goal is to, like I said, not necessarily move up. If we do move up, great. If we don't, great. But either way it go, we're going to be professional in everything we do. So as of me, you can catch me on Facebook at Ralph Bird. You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter or X as Coach D Bird. The team, you can catch us on Facebook, Carolina Predators, Instagram, Carolina Predators. You got our website, CarolinaPredators.com. I think Twitter, Carolina Predators too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, like I said, we out there. Feel free to reach out. So,
hey Ralph. Also on top of that too, I would add in community partners and members. We've definitely paired up with folks in the community that have been tremendous for us. Whether it's BSN Sports, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, House of Sports, Holiday Inn Express. we're always looking to expand and bring those folks into the fold as well too, to help with what we're doing in the community. Pulse Vodka has also been in their local North Carolina brand as well. So there's a lot of opportunities out there for folks in the community to kind of interconnect with each other and get involved with the youth aspect of things in any way that they can, whether it's a community service aspect or just, growing, the visibility of the game out there in the community. So we're always welcoming of people that want to reach out to us and talk to us about those opportunities.
Yes, sir.
Love it, man. Love it. So we got another episode in the books, y'all. On the Prowl with the Carolina Predators. Guys, make sure you are going to the social medias. Important thing there is game days, right? You want to come to games. You want to remember when the games are. Go to the site. You follow them on the social media platforms. There will be reminders sent. And these are games that, as Ralph was saying, they're going to be a lot more affordable for you, for a family. And it's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be interactive. It's going to be a fun time. Concessions are going to be less for you, right? There's going to be, pre-game things. There's going to be flag football games. So it's going to be a lot that you can do in a day and make it a nice day trip, and, entertain yourself, entertain your family, date, whatever, however you want to do that. It's a different experience to have. And definitely encourage everyone to pick a team. right? In this case, let's pick the Predators, right? Follow them on social media. Make sure you're watching what they're doing. Make sure you are going to the YouTube page, checking out games. If you're not able to come to the game, we'd rather have you come, but you may not be in a place where you can make the game physically. There's other ways to keep track of who's there, what's going on. Merch is going to be coming. Make sure you grab some merch, all that good stuff. Support these guys so that they can keep these organizations going. Support the partners. If you're in the area and you can do anything to help out with the teams, do those things, just to help them grow and help them be able to be sustainable. It's very important, and it's good for the areas. It's always good to have some sports teams there. And this is a time of year where if you're not a baseball fan, there's not really much going on for you sports-wise. And I don't mean to demean sports, but baseball is a very long and very boring game. And I played baseball as a kid, and I can't sit and just watch those games. It's just not enough. Yeah, it's just not enough going on. Now, if I have insomnia or I'm tired and I can't sleep, it's a great time to watch a baseball game. Probably it is what it is. But yeah, this is fun, guys. We're going to be doing more episodes, talking to different people, members of ownership that we can get on, coaching members of the coaching staff. We'll probably talk to some players throughout the year as well. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities, just like last year, for you to get to know the team, owners, coaches, players, and those people that are important to the organization. So make sure you're tuning in. Make sure you're liking this. Make sure you're sharing this. Make sure you're subscribing. And we will be back with another episode on the Prowl in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
And gentlemen, again, thanks for hopping on. Spending a little time with me just to talk about the Predators and give the people some more information on the organization.
Sounds good. Thanks for having us on.
No problem.
Well, thank y'all.